I can read your minds. I can read your minds. The collective unconscious is asking me how Girlypop is each and every psychic type Pokemon in the Pokemon universe. I have heard you guys loud and clear. I'm getting a lot of requests. Thank you all so much for showing up for this series. I am so excited for the future of this channel, and I'm going to do my best to do every single typing that we possibly can. The psychic typing is the one that people have been asking for the most, in my opinion, so I want to start with that. Before we get started, for the people who are new, I'm sure that you understand the jargon, but if you're one of those people who do not, I want you to know we have space for you, so let's learn together. The top tier is going to be Mother. Mother means that this Pokemon is hitting every standard of Girlypop, except they're going a little bit above and beyond. The second tier is Girlypop. They're giving what needs to be gave, and there's nothing wrong with that. The third tier is, okay, they have all the potential and the makings of a Girlypop Pokemon, except they aren't really doing it. They could go either way. They could go into Manly Pop territory, they could go into Spooky Pop territory, they could go anywhere. These are a very versatile bunch. The next tier is Looks Around. Now, these have the potential, though they're doing everything that is against it. It's almost like, okay, you obviously don't want to be Girlypop. And then the last tier we have Skip. I have a lot of people asking me to rename Skip, but I feel like Skip pretty much sums up how I feel about it. Like, I don't want to give it a title. Like, giving it Skip is already enough. Basically, Pokemon and Skip are not in consideration for this category. First Pokemon up, Alolan Raichu. Now, if you guys watch the normal type video, you guys know how I feel about Pikachu. That Pikachu every single day, that tired little rat. Alolan Raichu does nothing of the sort. That is Mother. This is taking a Pokemon and flipping it on its head in a way that is so entertaining. We love Alolan Raichu here. The Abra line is an interesting line because I do think that it starts out as Girlypop, and then we go into okay, and then we stay in okay, and then Mega Alakazam is so interesting and gorgeous and beautiful, but it's still okay. Like, it's such a serve, and this is what I want to talk about with the psychic typing already. Psychic typing has a lot of fierceness. A lot of us love the psychic typing because it's just, it speaks to us. It really does. But we're trying to talk about Girlypop, and I can't just say that every single one of these Pokemon is Mother. We really have to dissect what type of serve they're giving. Alakazam is definitely serving, but it's not giving Girlypop. Galarian Ponyta is definitely Mother, and I think Galarian Rapidash goes into Girlypop. I think this is because Galarian Ponyta is so cutesy that going into Galarian Rapidash is still lovely. Like, we love it, but I feel like those of us who caught Galarian Ponyta and trained Galarian Ponyta kind of wish that we could just keep it as cute as it is. I feel like the statement that it makes really is representative of itself within its first stage. And now that we hit Slowpoke, and you guys know that I give Slowpoke its flowers, I think that Slowpoke does not fit into the Girlypopness of the psychic typing. Already we're seeing how it goes, and it's just way too goofy. I'm going to say that it's okay because it can add an element of comedy to a team. I think Slowking is Girlypop. I think it can match into a Girlypop team for the psychic typing. Galarian Slowpoke, however, I'm going to say is also okay. Slowbro, that's Looks Around. It still has the aspects of Slowpoke that we like, but if I'm building a Girlypop psychic team, I just don't really consider Slowbro. The same goes for Galarian Slowbro, as well as Mega Slowbro. It's like, we appreciate it. We really do. But Galarian Slowking, this one's an interesting one for me. It's giving high concept, and I want to say that it's Girlypop because of it. Is the psychic typing a high concept typing? Are these the types of girls that want to give you a cerebral serve? Are these the type of girls that want you to think and munch and crunch? I mean, it is the psychic type. I feel like it's fitting. No, I'm hesitant. I have to put it in okay. I have to put it in okay. I think that Drowzee and Hypno give the same sort of flavor that Slowpoke does. I'm putting them both in okay as well. Exeggcute, that's a skip. I just don't really like it. Exeggutor is Looks Around. I just don't think that it's gonna fit. I'm trying to think, if I have these Girlypops that are here already and I'm looking at some of the Girlypops available, they do not sit in this type of league. So Starmie, I know that I gave them Mother in the water typing, but I think in the psychic typing, it's not fully representative of the potential of the psychic typing. It is Girlypop though, like, don't get me wrong. I just think that Starmie exists more as a Mother in the water typing. I think at this point, this many videos in, you've listened to so many hours, honestly, of me talking about this. If you know, you know. It's like Starmie's more she's the leader of the pack of the water type, but she is definitely sort of rubbing shoulders with icons in the psychic type. I think Mime Jr. is definitely girly pop. I do think that Mr. Mime is in okay. However, Galarian Mr. Mime as well as Mr. Rhyme, they're going into manly pop territory, and I'm going to say looks around. Actually, no. Let's go back on this. Mr. Rhyme is looks around because Mr. Rhyme has a lot going for it. It's a very interesting Pokemon, and I think girly pops enjoy a sense of theater. However, Galarian Mr. Mime, not only does it not roll off the tongue, but it's just, I think it's an ugly Pokemon. That's a scab. Smoochum is girly pop, and Jinx, I have to say, is girly pop. Galarian Articuno gave us a moment. This is a serve. If you're gonna remix one of the most iconic trios in Pokemon, you better do it well, and Miss Girl did it well. That's Mother. I'm sorry, it's Mother. Mew is also Mother. Mewtwo is looks around. I think Mewtwo does have legacy. Mewtwo does have a camp factor. Mewtwo is like a star in its own right, but it's not giving girly pop though. I think Mewtwo Y, is it? The one that has more flowy sort of a silhouette. I think that's okay. The X one is a skip for me. Pardon my pronunciation, but Xatu Natu, the cool little birds, I'm gonna say that they're okay as well. There's a lot that you can work with here. Thinking about this and looking at this now, because I tried to go in as chronological order as I possibly can, y'all psychic type girly pops were really out here struggling. Like, y'all really didn't have a lot to work with until like the likes of Espeon sort of showing up and gave us Mother. And I honestly want to say that Espeon is probably much like how Mischievous was in Generation 4. Espeon, when she was introduced, I think finally started giving the developers a sort of guidebook on where they should take the psychic typing. It's like, what type of player resonates with the psychic typing? When Espeon showed up, I think that they realized who's actually playing the psychic type. Unown is okay, because you could probably spell out girly pop with it, and that would be fun. Wobuffett is the type of comedy that I think I want to see for the psychic typing. It's just so absurd and dumb, especially when they started adding the lipstick to the girl Wobuffett. Yeah, that's girly pop. Girafarig is girly pop, and Fear Giraffe is Mother. I'm really excited to see now in Generation 2, the girly pop potential is really starting to show up. When I first started on this tier list, I was like, what's going on? There's so many okays, but I do know that the psychic typing is a very girly pop typing. I think it just took a generation for us to get there. Lugia is also okay. I think that Lugia is one of the most compelling legendaries that we've ever had. A lot of legendaries wish that it could have this type of moment. It has its own song. It has its like own movie. You get what I'm saying. Celebi is Mother, and I've said this a lot on TikTok, and I want to say it now on YouTube, and I know that you guys are probably going to agree with me. Legendaries are more mainstream, they're very surface level, and that's not a reflection on anybody who likes them. I know that everyone likes things for different reasons, but the mythicals, to me, in my opinion, are the sort of unofficial girly pop legendary tier. Mew really showed up and gave what needed to be gave, and Celebi followed in suit, and we're going to see going further that a lot of the mythicals, like now that I've mentioned it, you're going to see a lot of the mythicals are very girly pop. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that happened in the universe, but it's definitely a thing. Ralts is obviously girly pop. It's so cute, and we all caught it. And then as Curlia was introduced, we were like, oh, that's a mother Pokemon. And then Gardevoir came up, and that's a mother Pokemon. Gallade, what do we think about Gallade? Gallade obviously has a lot of masculine aesthetics, but this is actually a really good thing to mention because I'm noticing a lot of comments. There's so much conversation happening from the normal type video. I'm getting a lot of people who think that girly popness needs to be like girl stuff. That's not the case. If you get our language and you're trying to understand it, or you're sort of resonating with it, you can speak our language. You get the vibe. Here's the thing. A lot of people, especially in video games, don't get what we're talking about here. And you guys know how it is. It's just like, we just sort of resonate on a certain vibration, right? So I want to say that Gallade, the reason why I want to bring this up is that Gardevoir and the whole Ralts line does have Gallade, and I feel like a lot of us don't give Gallade the flowers of mother, but we all feel trepidation when trying to say that it's okay, because it is girly pop. The boys can like vibe with the girly pops. I mean, there's a lot of boys out there that are very girly pop, and Gallade is one of them. Now, Mega Gardevoir is mother, and honestly, Mega Gallade gave what he needed to. Like, that's that is such a gorgeous silhouette. I love Mega Gallade so much. I'm putting it in mother. This is my hot take, but the Meditite line is the first time that the fighting type got girly pop representation. And still to this day, a lot of people are not giving Meditite and Medicham their flowers. Meditite is okay, but Medicham is girly pop and Mega Medicham is mother. See, oh wow, okay, so let's stop and let's observe what's happening so far, because as we do this, we start to see the different flavors of girly pop that each typing has. We do have a lot of cuteness, right? With Celebi, Mew, and Galarian Ponyta, but there's way more fierceness here, a nuanced fierceness. You know, Espeon and Mega Medicham, they are two different types of fierce, but they're both valid. Like these girls both have valid tea. Espeon is giving you like a clean moment. It's all in the eyes. It's all in the smiles.
Like, okay, and now I'm not smiling with my eyes right now. I'm just going. And now I'm about to smile with my eyes.
Medicham said, somebody's got to give high concept. Like, we can't just be doing gowns all day long. And we love it. We really do. Also, get into the shiny. Get into the shiny Medicham and tell if you have any opinion about Medicham, get into that shiny. Please get into the shiny. Okay, Spoink. Spoink said we need a little bit of cuteness. We need a little bit of goofiness. I do want to say that Spoink is girly pop. As the generations go on and on, we get to see Spoink be represented in higher and higher fidelity. It just gives us more and more and more. I think that is so cute. However, Grumpig is looks around. It definitely has that psychic type flavoring. But you're going to be very hard pressed to put a Grumpig in your psychic girly pop team. There's just so many options at this point. I don't know. Lunatone and Solrock, I'm putting them together because I feel like these girls are sisters. They're okay, but this is not a slight to their serve, really. These girls are just versatile. These girls create the tableau. These girls create the scene. You want to be like a sunny, bright psychic type team with like Girafarig, Curlia, Starmie, like a beachy theme. You got Solrock. You want to be like the girls under the moonlight? You got Lunatone with like Gardevoir, Espeon, things like that. There's another one that I wanted to say, but we haven't talked about her yet. Now, Baltoy is a skip, but Clay Doll, just because it's the doll, and a lot of the dolls who've been following me tell me that they love the doll, I'm gonna give her girly pop. Because if there's any experts on dollitude and dollhood, it's the dolls, and I'm gonna listen to them every time. Chingling is one of those Pokemon that is so unfortunate. I'm putting it in girly pop because, but the reason why I say it's unfortunate is that I wish that they would put more items like Eviolite into the game, because I think that there's a lot of potential and opportunity to explore first and second evolutions. If we could have items or things to help boost their stats up, I think the power creep of Pokemon is really starting to swamp girly popology. And Chingling is one of those Pokemon that I wish could be my ace, but it just cannot hold its own in battle. If Eviolite is in the game, then let's just keep leaning into it, and let's keep adding more items and opportunities for us as trainers to express ourselves in different ways. I don't mind if getting those items and those things that might make a Chingling stronger are harder to obtain. I just want there to be more opportunity for Chingling. Chimecho is girly pop. I was gonna say it's okay because it's one of those Pokemon that I would definitely use as like, it wouldn't be the ace. But I was like, no, I can't really see it on anything other than a girly pop aesthetic. Oh, Wynaut. I forgot that Wynaut was also a psychic type. Wynaut is also girly pop. I'm gonna put it right next to her auntie. The whole Beldum line, I have to unfortunately put it in looks around. As I've made content and gotten to know so many different types of gamers who love Pokemon for various reasons, I've really opened my eyes to the icon that is the whole Beldum line. However, I just don't think, now that we're seeing this sort of flesh out, it's not really matching with the girls up at the top. It's not a skip though. There is something there. Latios and Latias are girly pop. These girls really, I don't know, I'm kind of obsessed with them for some reason. However, their mega evolutions are a skip. That disappointed me so much. Jirachi. What did I tell you about the mythicals? When you finally notice that the mythical Pokemon are the girly pop legendaries, it's just so obvious that's a mother. Jirachi needed one movie to solidify itself into the consciousness of so many people. She got that movie deal and she retired, and her legacy speaks for itself. Now, Deoxys is a little bit interesting. I'm gonna say looks around for Deoxys, except for the speed form, because the speed form reminds me of like an outfit that Alex Consani would wear. So that's definitely girly pop, but all of the other forms are like, I don't know, looks around. The concept is really fun. And it's gonna be hard, I think, to skip a lot of psychic types now because the concepts are always gonna be fun. Now, Bronzor, I have to admit, that one's okay. That one's okay. I think Bronzong is also okay too. Like the silhouette of it, the aesthetic and the design of it is not typically like so gorgeous, 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 girly, girly, girly. But they're like funny. And then like in Scarlet and Violet, there's this one moment where this girl is like, I love to just sit inside of my Bronzor, and my Bronzor just sits on my head and we just hang out like that. And I'm like, this girl's weird. And I like my weird girls. Now the whole Lake Trio. Now I know that the Lake Trio is one of those chapters that you guys skip to. Hi, I'm calling you out, but it's totally okay because I get engagement either way. These are mother. These are mother. My little child brain, when I saw these Pokemon for the first time in Generation 4, obsessed. Obsessed. Cresselia, mother. Ooh. It's so interesting how when you take one of like the super ultra powerful like legendary mythical types and add the psychic typing on top of it, it just automatically becomes a sleigh. I think it's because it goes into a territory that's more like ooh woo woo, like ooh, like what's going on? Like I don't know, it's like twisting your mind. It's like, yeah, like take me there. Like there's a concept that my brain is still trying to unpack and understand, and like as an INTP, I can't help but just like want to go deeper and deeper and deeper. You know? Victini, I think, is the first non-binary to ever exist. So that's girly pop. Muna, Musharna. Muna and Musharna not being a Generation 9 is like literally jail sentence. Like somebody needs to take whoever decided to not put these Pokemon into Generation 9 to court. And we need to really evaluate what is going on. Why are you being so like anti-girly pop? Because if there's anything that we deserve is Muna and Musharna in every single generation. Mother, like no doubt about it. Now Swoobat and Woobat, I'm gonna say girly pop. It's just the heart motif. Like this is for the spooky girlies, and we already talked about spooky pop. We really went into like the horror core of it all in the ghost typing. I feel like these two are just like kind of here to give us something a little bit different. We're so like in our heads right now with the psychic typing, we're going graceful, we're going light and airy and like psychic about it, but they're giving us something a little bit more tangible, a little bit more spooky. Like it's giving Halloween, but it's also giving Valentine's Day. There's so many layers. Now the Zen Darumaka, let's skip that. Like why is that even here? Sigilif is looks around. I have to give flowers. I have to give my little, you know, to the fact that it's giving a concept and it does stand alone in its look. And like I said before, it's going to be hard to really skip the psychic typings because they're giving us something. They're always giving us something. Some of these girls don't want to be girly pop, and that's fine. That's really fine. This is one of those moments where we have to stop and say it together, right? I know that some people are at their office or like studying, maybe in a public space. Just together on the count of 3, we're going to say it. You can whisper it or just say it in your head. 1, 2, 3. Mother. Then for the next one, 1, 2, 3. Mother. For the next one, 1, 2, 3. Mother. Now in Pokemon Legenza, if we do not get a Mega Gothitelle, there will be hell. Game Freak, listen up. Listen up. I need y'all to run the video up because Game Freak needs to hear it. If there's not a Mega Gothitelle, there will be hell. The Solosis line is kind of hard for me to place because I want to say that when you're trying to extrapolate what is girly pop in the psychic type, there's a lot of femme going on. There's a lot of femme going on. I mean, obviously there will be. But then you have like the presence of Gallade, right? The presence of Victini. I love the line. It definitely is a serve. It's giving us some type of tea, isn't it? Okay. I want to say that Solosis is girly pop because it's so cute. Duosion, it's losing it, but no, it's not girly pop. It's not. However, the final evolution, yeah, with the little pigtails, that's Girlypop. Yeah, that's Girlypop. Yeah. Behem, the whole line I think is so cute because he looks like he's wearing like a trench coat. It's like so tiny and like it floats around. It's a nod to like kind of like alien motifs and things like that. It's a very specific serve, and I love to see it every time. I'm gonna say that the first evolution is Girlypop. The second evolution admittedly does fade into a little bit of obscurity. I don't really know why we don't talk about it more. Maybe it's because it's not being represented in more later generations. I'm gonna say it's okay. It's okay. Hisui and Braviary, I have to give some flowers to. I think that that's a really cool looking Pokemon. I don't think that she really wants to be a Girlypop. I think if we were talking about some sort of other aesthetic, she would be a higher ranking, but she can't be looks around. Like, she's okay. Meloetta. 1, 2, 3, you know, mother. Then, I mean, if there's anybody who's going to give Witch, I mean, how long has it been since we had Witch? So we had Jinx the last time we had Witch. Delphox was like, girl, I guess I'll do it. Mother. Esper. Esper is a meme queen. Esper starts going into that territory that Mudkip was in for like the younger kids. Like when Esper first came out, Esper was the Mudkip for the kids who were playing, what was it, like Gen 6? I'm like a Gen 3 kid, so I had Mudkip. The Gen 6 kids had Esper, and for that, we have to give flowers. That's Girlypop. Meowstic, maybe you might disagree with me, but I think that the Meowstic duo, that's mother. We love Meowstic around here. Now, Inkay and Malamar, I want to say that they're okay, honestly. I do think that Hoopa is a very weak mythical, but with that being said, it's still Girlypop. That big scary form, I'm gonna skip it. I'm not really into that. Now, how do you pronounce it? Pa'u? Pa'u style Oricorio? Mother. It's pink. She's doing a little hula dance. Her entire kit is based around dancing. If you dance, she dances. She's here for the show. She's here. She's in the talent category. She entered into the talent category and she knows exactly what her talent is, and a lot of people are very intimidated by it. I did rag on Oranguru for the normal type video, but now that I'm looking at this tier list, and I have to say at this point, I'm sorry if I'm giving a little bit different today. It's because when I do these videos and like when I do really anything, I try to immerse myself into the environment. Like, I'm the type of person that even if it's a bad movie, I'm going to sit there and suspend disbelief just to be into it. And I'm trying to absorb myself into the psychic typing. And as you guys know, I lean more into like the fairy typing type of thing. The psychic typing is very cerebral. Like, I'm feeling very, like I'm exploring certain areas, and it's a little bit harder for me to express my thoughts. However, Oranguru, I think, does not deserve a skip. It is a looks around. There's a slight potential I could see. Like, I'm trying to immediately think, like, when I'm ranking this, how does this Pokemon compare to Celebi or Gardevoir? Obviously, Oranguru is nowhere near that level. However, I could see a Gardevoir girly using the abilities and motifs of Oranguru in an interesting way. And when you battle them, it could be very interesting. I don't know, because Oranguru does do like tricky stuff. So, looks around. Let's do something a little bit easier. Bruxish, mother. We've already talked about it. Some people don't get Bruxish, and it's because, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna bring it up. Some people don't like femininity. Some people can only accept femininity when it's attenuated, when it's polished. Bruxish gives you high femme in a very gaudy and sometimes gross way. And the girls who get it, and we vibe with it. Like, let your freak flag fly, sister. And now, Tapu Lele literally spawned onto our consciousness and spawned into the Pokemon universe to give Girlypop. Her entire concept is Girlypop. I do think that she gives mother. I do think she gives mother. Now, Cosmog and Cosmeom, I think they're Girlypop. The concept is really cute. Solgaleo is a skip, and Lunala is okay for me. When I said this about Lunala last time, a lot of people came for me, but you have to understand that I have my favorites too that I don't give Girlypop or mother. you have to take yourself out of nostalgia. The box legendaries of this generation didn't really do what people are trying to say they did. Maybe that's a hot take, maybe that is, but I just don't think that Lunala's really out here giving what a lot of people are saying that they give. And I will come back to this once again. The whole Necrozma moment is terrifying to me in concept. I'm not saying that Pokemon can't explore this. I'm actually really happy to see it. I love lore. I love broadening the horizons of what Pokemon can be. But in terms of Girlypop, the idea of some sort of alien entity or interdimensional entity coming in and being a parasite, using other Pokemon as a vehicle to just consume, that's terrifying. Skip it all. Skip it all. And honestly, when I saw Necrozma in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet when it spawned, I didn't know where it spawned, and I had seen it in the wild, and it scared me. It scared me because it just looks so... I have to give some flowers to the Orbeetle line because I think that they were trying to iterate on Ladybug. We will talk about this in the bug type video, but I have my opinions on Ladybug, and I think that the developers tried to give us something with it. Flowers for the really cool concept. Like Dottler is okay, definitely. Like these are all okay for sure, but it's just, where is it going? Like it just sits in the middle, and I can't really see where you could take these Pokemon. Hatterene is one of the most iconic Pokemon that we've ever gotten. I don't care if you like girly pop aesthetics or not. This Pokemon stands alone in many regards. First and foremost, let's just go ahead and give the whole line Mother. This is one of the most fun Pokemon to catch. The Gigantamax form, I'm kind of indifferent towards Gigantamax, but I'll give it Mother just because it sort of retains the aesthetic of it all. But there's layers to this Pokemon. First and foremost, I want to mention that I think it's so funny that its hair just grows, and it exists as a foil to Grimmsnarl, whereas Grimmsnarl is a very masculinized foresty aesthetic. This is a very hyper-feminine foresty aesthetic. But also, knowing that this Pokemon debuted in Generation 8, and seeing the Pokemon that we've talked about thus far, we've had a lot of very interesting color palettes. But the closest that we can even get to Hatterene's color palette before Generation 8 is a Pau style Oricorio, and even then it's not as pastel. I do want to give credit, and I don't think that people are really talking about this because Skeledirge also did something with its shiny too. I'm going to try not to digress, but even though there's a lot of controversy and discussion around Generation 8 and 9 currently, Generation 8 introduced new color tones. It's almost as if the color palette that the developers are able to work with now in the Switch era has expanded, and color representation has expanded. This pastel, like, this is ultra kawaii pastel, and I've never seen this gradient style pastel represented before Generation 8, and I have to give credit to Hatterene for introducing new color representation into the Pokemon universe. I really do think that she was the first, because there are pink Pokemon like Muna, Musharna, Pau style, Oricorio. They're all giving pink, but there's a different type and tone of pink, the gradient of pink. I'm kind of obsessed with it, as you can tell. And Didi, I don't know why, but I don't want to give it Mother. I don't think that it exists as Mother in this flavor of Girlypop. It is Girlypop though, like, don't get me wrong, but I was just kind of like caught up. I was like, I don't know. I do think that as a normal type, it gives a psychic type of serve. Because you know what I was saying in the normal type, what is your T? Like, what type of T are you trying to validate? I think that the Mother of psychic type is creating a sort of context, a paradigm, if you will, that Indeedee doesn't exist in. But when you take Indeedee and put it into its normal context, it's a little bit different. Now, Calyrex. I think that Calyrex is a hilarious Pokemon to me. Can somebody please explain the lore to me, or explain this serve to me? Because all I see is a Pokemon with a big old head. And that's, I'm sure that there's like a sort of mythology around it that I would come to appreciate, because you know me, I love anything that's got a little bit of density to it. But seeing it float around with its dangly little legs in the DLC, I couldn't help but laugh every time. I think it's okay. For the horse girlies, because every time I talk about Spectrier and Glastrier, the horse girlies get so defensive. They're not as bad as the Starmie girlies in the water type video, but they are getting close to it. I have to give the horse girls Girlypop in this. Now, Weirdeer. This is interesting because in the normal typing, I did give it a skip. Did I? Or like it looks around. It was quite low. But after that, we had a lot of conversations and people were saying like, I do think that Stantler is the moment, but Wordeer sort of goes into like grandpa territory, and that's not bad. It is giving like that Elden Ring sort of foresty, medieval, high fantasy moment. I do think that Wordeer is okay. In a psychic type context, I could see Wordeer like complementing the likes of Hatterene. I think that Armarouge, when you're considering its psychic typing, does not really compete with these girls. I'm gonna say looks around. However, if we ever get the chance to get to the fighting type video, I don't know how long people are gonna be watching me. But if we ever get to the chance to getting to the fighting type video, I think this discussion will be a little bit different. Now, Rapska's giving a high concept. Rapska is also giving grandpa like Wordeer does, but the high concept of it and its evolution line, the story that it's telling, is so compelling to me. I don't know if it deserves Girlypop though. Like, I don't think it would be on a Girlypop team. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Flittle is Girlypop and Espathra is Mother. Espathra's giving Lady Gaga. I really don't think that I have to explain this further. Espathra was kind of like one of those that we immediately locked in when we discovered her. Veluza, I do know that we all don't like Veluza because it was quite literally harassing us in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in the water that would run at 10 frames per second, and it would just like, we couldn't get away because the game wouldn't run, but it would just like immediately beeline towards us. I know that we have a lot of resentment there. I will say that it's looks around. I can't skip this because the concept of it being like this sort of weird machine looking psychic type fish, it's so strange and I don't know where to place it. Now, Screamtail. The way that she debuted and was immediately compared to Ariana Grande, that's Mother. When Iron Leaves first came out, I will admit that I was really tough on it because if I recall correctly, she debuted right next to Walking Wake and Walking Wake just stole the show. But now in retrospect, now that it's been a couple months and we've let the dust settle, I do think that she's Girlypop. I wouldn't run her myself. I don't really get into the sort of machine paradoxes. But when I was trying to say okay, when the words almost came out of my mouth, I could feel some other psychic type Girlypops who were watching this video and skipped to this chapter. I could feel you guys saying like, Fawn, please try to be objective about this. And I heard you, I felt you. And that's the power of the psychic type trainers. Maybe that's why I feel like I'm in such a weird state of mind when I'm doing this video, is because the people who resonate and like really are drawn towards a psychic type, I feel like you guys naturally have like some sort of aura that permeates from you, and as I'm making the video I can like feel it all like sort of coming towards me, and I'm trying to, what it is I'm trying to do my best to sift through it all and give the right answers. Now Monkey, y'all know I love Monkey Pokemon, but he's not giving Girlypop. That's honestly a skip, like especially because he debuted right next to Pheasantipity. Like, girl, no, you out of the three, you were the one that flopped the most. And now this guy, I can't even remember his name, skip. And then the Paradox Cobalion, I feel like she's sort of like the sister to Iron Leaves, right? So that's also Girlypop. Okay, well, that's it. I hope that I got them all. Honestly, when I do these, I like go over the list over and over and over again to make sure that I have every single one of those Pokemon in that typing. But as you can see, there's a lot to work with, so it is a little bit difficult. But I do want to express and tell you guys, thank you so much for showing up for this content. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber, and it's just so crazy that this is what's making it my thing. I've been trying to do YouTube or content creation for like 10 years, honestly, probably longer than that. I've always dabbled in like Photoshop and video editing and recording and streaming and things like that, but I always tried to sort of water myself down. I always tried to do things that I had seen other people succeeding with. And it's just so validating to hear so many people from different walks of life, from different backgrounds, asking me to make these videos. And I will be honest, as a very introverted person, I know it doesn't seem that way, but I am quite introverted, and I do take this very seriously because this is like what I do now. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the best video that I possibly can. I don't know, I just want to express that this is really important to me, and I really appreciate that you guys give me your time. So I know I've been hearing and seeing all the requests for the next videos. I promise I'm going to do my best to get them out as soon as I possibly can. I want to make sure that the videos are of quality. I don't want to rush them out, so I'm trying to pace myself too. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that whatever you guys are up to, it goes by super, super well. And that's it. Whatever you're up to, I hope it goes by well. I hope whatever games that you guys are playing are super, super fun. Whatever you guys are getting up to this summer, I hope is super, super fun. And Psychic Type Girlies, I hope I did this justice. Bye!